today's video, we're going to be covering if winter wildcards are going to double in price just like they did last year. So, just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. For the cheapest premium trading service for just £4, €4, or free with Amazon Prime. You'll get yourself daily trading and investing guides covering both Xbox and PlayStation with an array of different techniques depending on your budget. I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million on multiple titles, and recently making over 10 million in the first month for the last 3 years. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is talking about if I think that winter wildcards are going to absolutely bang in price just like they did last year. Because obviously if I do think they're going to bang in price, well then there's a really good investment opportunity. So I guess first off, to start off with the video, I might as well explain and show you these cards banging last year. So this was the team last year, this was team 1, and team 2 was no worse than team 1, it was a very good team. We got Alessandrini, we got Guendouzi, we got Tierney, Martial, obviously Pogba being a top dog, and we got a very, very good team. Now, this year we've kind of had the same sort of thing, where we've had a very decent team 1 and a pretty decent team 2. So the question is, are they going to go and bang this year like they did last year? So if you guys can't remember, first off I'll just get you what happened last year. With cards like Niakate you can see right here. When out of packs was 63k, sorry, before he went out of packs it was 63k. He then proceeded to then rise to 161k. Crazy. We then get to the likes of Collins, and Collins, when he was in packs, was 50k. He then rose to 83k. It's not quite double there. We then have obviously the story of Guendouzi, where he did 110 and then eventually ended up at 330. But more importantly, he went from 110 to about 280 in the matter of, I think that's like 2 weeks. And finally, the last example I'll show you right here is Kieran Tierney, who was 43k, and then in a matter of a week he was up to 77. So I'm sure you probably could have got W coins if you got at peak time. So the question is, why did this happen last year? Now, one of the reasons this happened last year is Winter Wildcards was generally one of the best promos of December, and because it was one of the best promos of December, they were the most hyped up cards. There weren't many cards that came out before them, because if you guys remember, the cards that came out before them were absolutely trash. They basically released this promo, which was Fire and Ice, and Fire Ice was just EA giving us the same player twice in a row, with very minuscule, differences of shooting and passing being different. So the promos before Winter Wildcard last year were trash, which meant those cards weren't demanded. And the main reason why the Winter Wildcard did really well is because the promo after Winter Wildcard was Headliner. There you go, was Headliners. Now, obviously the Headliner cards you're seeing right here would have been the cards that the cards ended up with. But the reason that Headliners is such a trash promo is because the whole hype of these cards is what they're going to become. It's not what they currently are. So what this basically means is if EA have a promo where the cards aren't going to get upgraded, they could go and make them 88 rated cards, let's say. Because they're not going to go up, because they can't get upgraded. Although the problem is when they can release promos where cards can get upgraded, especially with Headliners where they can receive upgrades other than Team of the Week upgrades, they therefore kind of start them at like 86s, or they'll start them at 87s. Which means that even though this promo is coming later in the year than Winter Wildcard, the players aren't as good as Winter Wildcards, because the upgrades are to happen down the line. Because the Winter Wildcards, let's say, are 88, and they want to start them off at an 86, but by the end of the year they might be at a 91. So obviously, yes, later in the year they'll be higher rated and better cards than Winter Wildcards, but initially on the release, and especially for the first few months, these cards aren't going to be better. Which as a result leaves us going from a high rated promo to a low rated promo where they could get upgraded. And as a result, people don't want to use these cards that could get upgraded because right now they're just not as good as the previous promo. And obviously we had 2 weeks of this. Here's Team 1, and here's Team 2. And after 2 weeks of getting cards that just aren't better than the current, or than Winter Wildcards, this allowed the Winter Wildcards to absolutely bang for 2 weeks. Because, the people weren't replacing them with these players because these players just weren't any good in comparison to the Winter Wildcard. So the main factor on will this year's Winter Wildcards do well is what promo is now going to go and follow Winter Wildcards. Now, the up-and-coming promo is leaked to be a promo called Centurions. Now, Centurions, as you can read from here from one of the leakers, is a player item upgrade, celebrates a Centurion's longevity in football, combining the 100 plus caps and sometimes 100 plus goals, assists or clean sheets. So basically this isn't really going to be any sort of like dynamic promo in terms of like the cards can get upgraded down the line, which is kind of what we would have wanted it to be, because obviously if the cards get upgraded down the line, they start off at lower rated, which means they're not as good. So already this goes against Winter Wildcards doing very well out of packs, because the cards are going to be what we'll call static upgrades. The promo cards, they're not going to get upgraded, so they can make them quite high rated in the first place. Now the problem I have with this promo is generally nothing different to what we've had 2 weeks before Winter Wildcards. So basically, I don't see this as them giving any massive skill move upgrades. I don't see this as them giving any massive position change upgrades. I don't see it as them... Basically, it's just not a very innovative promo. All I see it as is, we're going to go and upgrade cards for X reason. And we've had this promo like literally 2-3 times in a row now. For example, you got World Cup phenomenons. There are no skill move upgrades really. There are really no position changes. It was just, we're going to give a 2/3 inform upgrade for X reason. And X reason here was that they were a child. We had another promo like two weeks before that. World Cup stories. Again, lack of position changes. There are a few position changes here. Lack of skill moves and weak foot upgrades. It's, we're going to give a 2/3 team week upgrade because of X reason. Which here was, I don't know, maybe they were good at football back in the day. And even I think even the week before that, we had Road to the World Cup. Again, these cards weren't upgradable. It was just, these guys have got a card for X with a 1/2 inform upgrade because of X reason. They were good before the World Cup started. So I personally see this promo as literally just going to be nothing more than another one of these teams. Which is why I actually do think that Winter Wildcards could do well out of packs. Because here we see skill move upgrades, we see position changes with the likes of Sancho. You know, I don't know, what else we see? 5-star skill moves on like right backs and so on. And as a result, they could do pretty well as long as they aren't, you know, going to go into the Centurions. The problem, I guess, the main problem we come across is we don't actually know what this promo is because it's a new promo. But personally, I just back it as a 1-2 inform promo. So as a result, me thinking, okay, I think some of the Winter Wildcards could do quite well out of packs. Well, what Winter Wildcards do I think would do quite well out of packs? Now, it depends on two major factors are going to be what affects them. One, is there going to be someone in the Centurion team that replaces them? So, for example, let's say we went out and we bought ourselves a Kante. We thought Kante is going to rise really well out of packs. There isn't really anything too special with this Kante, I'll be completely honest with you. You know, he's got like a double inform upgrade, that's about it. But then they go and release a... God, who's a Premier League? I don't know. Let's say there was a Declan Rice for some reason. Let's say Declan Rice has 100 caps for West Ham. And they're going to release a 91 rated Declan Rice. Well, you can see there being a bit of a replacement of Kante and see Kante dropping as a result of Declan Rice. Let's see if I can find another example, maybe of a cheaper player. Let's say you guys went and picked yourself up Gravenberch. Here you go. Let's say you went and picked up Gravenberch and they went and gave Müller one. Müller, you know, obviously loads of caps and all that malarkey. Let's say they for some reason gave him more of a central card to make him more usable. Then you'd see Gravenberch potentially drop because people aren't going to be using Müller and Gravenberch if they make him more of a centre mid sort of card. So the first way on why people would drop in price with the up and coming promo would be people are going to use one of the new promo cards over using the old promo cards because of the same position and league. Now, the second reason on why Winter Wildcards would drop is because people are shifting up their teams. So if you guys don't know at the moment, everyone is using League 1 teams. Everyone is using League 1 teams because of some of the objectives and SBCs we've had as of recently. Obviously we had the Klaus. We had this guy, but he's not overly popular because he's got a 3-star skills. We had this guy, obviously a pretty decent, very, very cheap SBC. That's League 1 contingency. We had... And obviously a lot of the other player SBCs weren't very popular, like Silias, very, very unlinkable. Eric Bailly, very, very popular SBC, 90% upvote rate. What else do we have from the league? Dimitri Payet was very popular. I believe that was dropped on Christmas. I think that's about all she wrote. So we had the Klaus as well. So at the moment there's a lot of League and contingency, and because there's a lot of League and contingency, League and players are quite expensive. As he clicks on a Liga player, sorry, Bundesliga player. So yeah, Liga players are quite expensive. You can see right here, he's gone from 17 to 27. Like, Ismaili is absolutely skyrocketing out of packs. Sounds like Winter Wildcards. And, you know, one of the main reasons he's doing very well is because everyone's building League 1 teams. Well, let's say next week we went and got ourselves a very well demanded, let's say there was an Timo Werner 5-star skill SBC. They then went and dropped us a... Here can they go drop? Maybe they go and drop us a Gavardiol, I don't know, really good SBC. Then they go and drop an amazing Neuer for like 50, 60k. And as a result, people start rotating into Bundesliga teams. You will go and see these Liga 1 players drop because, as you know, people do other SBCs, they can't run full Liga 1 teams, they start running full Bundesliga teams, and Bundesliga players start doing very well. The reality is you can't madly invest in Team 1, or you can invest in Team 1, but there's obviously a increased risk, because obviously some of these players have already risen very well, like that is Marley, and as a result, you know, if there is a drop, there will be a bigger drop than if you're buying something that isn't inflated. It's like, for example, let's say they released a PlayStation 5 for £400, I go and buy it at £600, and then they go and mass make the PlayStation, it's back down to £400, is a lot more risky than if, let's say, the PlayStation came out, it went up to 450, I went, yeah, go on then, it's only up 50 quid, it's not 200 quid. Then they mass made it, well, the worst I can quote unquote lose is 50 quid. So that's like the risk in investing in Team 1. But Team 1 could still do well, you know, if next week's, if, you know, we're getting Centurions, but it's leaked to be for 2 weeks. If that is 2 weeks of a trash promo and not very innovative promo, well then, you know, you're just going to see the players that rose last week rise even more. So it's very easy just to know what's going to do well next week, because again, you look at what's done well this week. So just going through players from Team 1, these are all the players if you guys do want to invest, gambling on Friday being a trash promo. You got Toljan, who actually hasn't been too bad. Bear in mind, you got to understand, a lot of people are building League 1 teams. If players from other leagues are rising, that just shows very, very good demand. So he's gone from 14 there to 60, and he still seems to be rising every day. We then, as I said earlier, have Ismaili. Obviously, there is, you know, more risk on him because he is up more, but then at the same time that does show more demand. We then get to Lacazette, same reasoning, everyone's building Ligue 1 teams. He's almost had a non-stop rise, which means he could rise for another 2 weeks, given there wouldn't be a very demanded promo next week, or SBCs. Jack Butland's done really well, 33 to 41, again, not in the Ligue 1, which makes his rise even more impressive. And I'll be honest with you, that's actually the players who've done the best. Now, we did kind of see the same sort of thing last year, where the expensive players maybe went up 100k, which would have been, I don't know, like them rising 10-20%. But the cheap players were the ones that are doubling and tripling, and I guess they're just, you know, being purchased more per card on the market. So that is Team 1 on the players you could go and pick up. Let's have a look at Team 2 and see what we could go and buy there if Centurions is a trash promo. So now going on to Team 2, I'll be honest with you, the main contingency here is just cheap French Ligue 1. So the first player we're looking at is Fabio, again, Ligue 1. I think he can do quite well. So next one we have is Pepe. Now Pepe got a little bit shafted yesterday because of the SBC, but I still be quite confident on him doing well. Just because the SBC is like 3-star skills, 5-star weak foot. Does have 13 days on it, which isn't too ideal, but again, I do think Pepe would be a little bit more demanded because of the 4-star skills over the 3-star skills, and there's the likes of Nicolas Pepe. So then on to Amalvi, because there is a fair bit of French contingency with the likes of Belgrada and Payet. Obviously, you do have Klaus, but I still do think he'll do quite well, because the good thing about him is he's generally the best buyable French right-back in the game. You could argue Condé, but Condé is, I'd imagine, 1, a lot more favourable to be playing centre-back, and 2, like, almost 10x his price. Next player is going to be the likes of Robertson. Robertson is now arguably the best left-back in the Prem, and because he is now the best left-back card in the Prem, he should do well at packs, because obviously we know that Prem is the most popular sort of league built in the game, because of, you know, it's just the biggest league in the world, I guess. Most followed, maybe other than the La Liga. But yeah, we got the likes of Robertson. The problem with Robertson is up about 20k right now, so you do need to be getting him on a snipe, a bid, maybe an icon, a hero SBC comes out, and he goes down. A little bit more of an outside call. Couldn't guarantee do well, but obviously he's a cheapo, so you haven't got too much to worry about. Is the likes of Florian Ritz. Now the reason I think he could do quite well is because he's already gone up from 28 to 30. Still seems to be holding 30, which once again, this guy isn't playing in the Ligue 1, so any sort of demand on a player not in the Ligue 1 is quite impressive. So we do have the likes of Vert. We then move to a card I'd be a lot more confident about, and that is Adama Traore. Again, going to be picking up for about 175 at most. Obviously, he could have gone down at, I think, 170 one of the other days, but 172 is and 175 still isn't too bad on Adama. Obviously, he's got decent Prem hype. He's already, you know, got pretty decent proven demand at the moment, as long as you don't want to take that as investors buying him. And I think, yep, that is all she wrote with the Winter Wildcards that I think could do well out of packs. So then doing well out packs once again is going to come back to the Centurions promo. The Centurions promo is nothing more than them just giving a double inform upgrade to a bunch of old people. I do think that Winter Wildcards will be more demanded just due to the skill moves, the position changes, and so on. And you know, there's some drastically big upgrades in positions where we do need them. Once again, like some of them League 1 players. But I'll say that is going to be about it. I'll say if you guys do have any questions, I do stream every day, so you can just come and ask me. Oh, are they still looking good? Is Centurion still looking like a bad promo? And the Winter Wildcard should still do well out packs. You're more happy to head over and ask me any questions. But that is going to be us done covering if we think Winter Wildcards will do well this year. The answer is yes if Centurions is a rubbish promo. No if for some reason Centurions is an amazing promo, which I don't fully think it looks like it is at the moment. But thanks for watching, and see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.